A very good day and welcome to the Liberator Online Media Reports, where we give you events from around the continent. Glad to have you today, the 1st of July 2020. My name is Umar Usman. In this edition, President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off the AKK project on Tuesday, 30th June 2020. The report.
President Muhammadu Buhari flagged off the construction of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano AKK gas pipeline project. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday, through a virtual ceremony, oversaw the flag off of the construction of the Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano gas AKK pipeline project, saying that it will make a positive impact on the country's economy. It will go up to $2.59 billion, cutting across 614 kilometers in distance.
He listed generation of power from gas, establishment of gas-based industries, job creation, development of technical skills and technology transfers as some of the immediate benefits of the project to the nation on completion.
Kaduna, Niger, Kogi, Kano, and the Federal Capital Territory are among the locations that gas-powered industries will be established or revived with the completion of the projects, according to the President.
Buhari, who said the project would also connect Rugachukun in Kaduna State, asked the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and its partners to remain focused, as the AKK project was part of his administration's next-level agenda for sustainable development, enhancement of economic prosperity, and increase of the country's infrastructure assets.
The President, who addressed participants at all the sites through teleconferencing from the presidential villa Abuja, said, "We promise the nation that we will expand the critical gas infrastructure in the country to promote the use of gas in the domestic market."
This includes the Escravos to Lagos pipeline system, to Obiafo to Obrinkom pipeline, and AKK.
The projects are fundamental to our desire to industrialize and energize entrepreneurial spirit that is ever present in our population.
While in Kogi, Governor Yahaya Bello flagged off the work in Ajaokuta. In Kaduna, Governor Nasiru El-Rufai did in Rugachukun, and supervised by Buhari from Abuja.
The President seized the opportunity to speak on the impact of COVID-19 on the nation's economy and why it had learned to look inward to sustain its economy going forward.
He added that part of the lesson was the need for the government to vigorously pursue its diversification policy.
Gulf countries that have similar levels of gas reserves as Nigeria have a strategy centered around gas industrialization as their foundation towards export diversification.
This has to be our guiding principle as we seek to attract investment and create opportunities for our people, he said.
He urged the private sector to support the government's effort by investing hugely in the fresh opportunities provided by the project.
Buhari spoke further, as the world evolves, we owe our people the responsibility to prepare them for what the future holds. We therefore must be bold and fearless and can no longer be incremental in our own approach.
Time is short and our people's zeal is strong and palpable. Infrastructure development, although long, tedious and complex, remains a cardinal objective of our administration's drive towards ensuring a stable, sustainable and more prosperous future for our citizenry.
Today marks an important chapter in the history of our great nation. It marks the day when our domestic natural gas pipeline networks from Obiafo in Rivers State, Escravos in Delta State and Lekki in Lagos State are being connected through Kaduna to Kano states, thereby enhancing national energy security, creating balanced development and further integrating our nation.
So far, he disclosed that support came from the People's Republic of China, the financiers, the Bank of China and Sinashore, and the two EPC contractors, Brentex, China Petroleum Pipeline Bureau, CPP, and Oil South, China First Highway Engineering Company, for the execution of the project.
On his part, the Group Managing Director of the NNPC, Mele Kyari, Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, explained that the project was part of the Trans-Nigeria Gas Pipeline designed to integrate the northern region of the country with the Niger Delta, eastern and the western regions of Nigeria.
According to him, while Mercy's Oil South PLC, China First Highway Engineering Company, will handle the first segment covering 303 kilometers, Mercy's Brentex Petroleum Services, China Petroleum Pipeline Bureau, got the contract for for the second segment, covering 311 kilometers.
He added that it will be under a debt equity financing model with loan from Bank of China and Sinosure to be repaid through the pipeline transmission tariff and supported by a sovereign guarantee.
Kyari also said the project will inject 2.2 billion cubic feet per day of gas into the domestic market, in addition to generating 3,600 megawatts of electricity.
Nigerians will recall that former President Olusegun Obasanjo earmarked $16 billion for power projects during his administration, following a challenge from President Muhammadu Buhari to show Nigerians how the funds were allocated. President Muhammadu Buhari accused Olusegun Obasanjo of wasting $16 billion on power projects with nothing to show for it. The AKK project commenced when Olusegun Obasanjo earmarked $16 billion to improve power generation. Thus, it was not given due attention till 2017 when the cabinet of President Muhammadu Buhari approved the project and was flagged off on the 30th of June 2020.
Godnos Igali, former permanent secretary of the Ministry of Power, says ex-President Goodluck Jonathan came into power and there was no investment in terms of improving power generation in spite of the growing economy and energy demands of the Nigerians. When President Yar'Adua unfortunately passed on, Jonathan came in and ordered the immediate resumption of the NIPP projects and cancelled the dredging of Baro Port and Ajaokuta-Kaduna-Kano pipeline projects.
The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Malam Mele Kyari, the COO Gas Power, Engineer Yusuf Usman, Chief Financial Officer of the NNPC, Umar Ajia, Engineer Ibrahim Audu took over from Al-Amin Musa Imam as the AKK project leader. Kudos to these gentlemen for their tireless efforts.
NNPC announced tenders for the project in July 2013. The Buhari government approved the project in December 2017, 85% on funding from Chinese financial institutions, while 15% funding is from NNPC NGC.
On Sports Today, Raul Yemenis offers hope to Manchester United and Arsenal. The report by Abubakar Kailani.
The Wolves frontman continues to enjoy a memorable 2019-2020 campaign, with his efforts drawing admiring glances from afar. Raul Yemenis continued to offer hope to suitors such as Manchester United and Arsenal, with the Wolves striker welcoming talk of possible transfers involving many millions. A standout season has been enjoyed by the Mexico international in 2019-2020. His personal best goal return has been raised to 24 across all competitions, with the 29-year-old having shown no sign of rustiness on the back of a coronavirus-enforced break. Yemenis' efforts are continuing to keep Wolves in the hunt for a top 4 finish in the Premier League, while Europa League glory is also possible. The decision by those in the West Midlands to snap him up from Benfica has been fully justified, with the target found on 41 occasions in 91 appearances. That prolific return is earning the Mexican plenty of admiring glances from afar. Leading sides in England and Spain said to be mulling over moves. Yemenis has been keeping the exit door propped open. Admitting any interest from Barcelona or Real Madrid will be difficult to ignore. He has also spoken of his pride at any links to domestic rivals of Wolves, with his price tag said to have soared to around the £90 million mark. Yemenis is enjoying being swept along for the ride at present, with no definitive call on his future offered once again when discussing the speculation is generating with. First of all, I am very happy here with the Wolves, Yemenis said. I am in a place where from the first moment we made an incredible connection. I am not stranger to all the rumors. Every day a new team comes out, every day a new offer comes out. I do not know how many millions. It's good to know they are talking about you, but what I have to do to make that happen is to continue doing my job here with the Wolves. Yemenis drew a blank in his last outing against Aston Villa, but he does have 2 goals to his name since the restart and has helped Nuno's side to move into 5th spot in the Premier League table, 3 points adrift Chelsea and the final Champions League place.
On the foreign scene, Iran has issued an arrest warrant for Donald Trump, the US president. On the international scene today, the US killed General Soleimani and others in January drone attack near Baghdad International Airport. Iran has issued an arrest warrant and asked Interpol for the help in detaining the US President Donald Trump and dozens of others it believes carried out the drone strike that killed a top Iranian general in Baghdad. Tehran prosecutor Ali Al-Qasimir said on Monday that Trump, along with more than 30 others Iran accuses of involvement in January 3 attack that killed General Qasem Soleimani, face murder and terrorism charges. The semi-official news agency reported Al-Qasemi did not identify anyone else sought other than Trump, but stressed Iran will continue to pursue his prosecution even after his presidency ends. Interpol, based in Lyon, France, did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Al-Qasemi was also quoted as saying Iran had requested a red notice be put out for Trump and the others. The highest level notice issued by Interpol requesting that seeks the location and arrest of the individual named under a red notice. Local authorities make the arrest on behalf of the country that requested it. Notice cannot force countries to arrest or extradite suspects, but can put government leaders on the spot and limit suspects' travel. After receiving a request, Interpol meets by committee and discusses whether or not to share the information with its member states. Interpol has no requirement for making any of the notices public, though some do get published on its website. It is unlikely Interpol will grant Iran's request, as its guideline for notice forbids it from undertaking any intervention or activities of a political nature. The US killed General Soleimani, who oversaw Expeditionary Quds Force and others in the January attack near Baghdad International Airport. The assassination came after months of the incidents raising tensions between the two countries and untimely saw Iran retaliate strike with a ballistic missile strike targeting American troops in Iraq. Umar Usman, Liberator News. And that's all we have in today's edition of the Liberator Online Media Report. On behalf of the executive producer, Engineer Dr. Kailani Muhammad, and the production crew and my colleagues in the studios, my name is Umar Usman. Thanking you very much for staying tuned.